Alright, let's wrap up this little Steam controller emulator video trilogy thing with a short video on PCSX2, which does to PS2 games what Dolphin does to GameCube and Wii games. Before we get into this though, I want to bring up a few things. First, I didn't have a PS2 growing up. I'm not as fluent with the PS2's vast library as I am with Nintendo's. Second, many of the best PS2 games are available legally on PS3 or PS4 as HD collections or emulated games on PSN, or whatever. I'm not really that much of a fan of the PS3 controller, as you may have guessed from my last video, but if you want to play many of the best games on PS2 legally, a PS3 might actually be your best bet. If you want the best way to play stuff like Shadow of the Colossus, MGS3, God of War, Devil May Cry, Kingdom Hearts, or many of the other great games that first showed up on PS2, play them on PS3. Trust me, there's not that much that a Steam controller can do that can help with those games anyway. And that leads directly into my third point. One of the more forgotten features of the PS2 controller was the pressure-sensitive buttons that acted differently depending on how you press them. This is also a feature in the PS3 controller. Thankfully, there aren't that many games on PS2 that support them, but one of them is Metal Gear Solid 3, aka one of my favorite games ever if you've followed this channel at all, and playing it on PC with a Steam controller is really not optimal. I'd say pick up the PS3 version for that. But aside from that, and also Gran Turismo and maybe some of the Grand Theft Auto games, PCSX2 does the job quite nicely. And besides, you can just pick up the GTA games on Steam, they're right there. Aside from that small snafu, using PCSX2 with the Steam controller is a snap. Once you've installed it, added the BIOS, which I will not help you with, and added it to Steam, it's as simple as making sure the gamepad plugin is configured for an X-input controller, and that's really it. You can also toy with the graphics plugin if you want to play in HD or 4K like in Dolphin, but aside from that, you're kinda ready to Persona 3 it up. I hope you enjoyed this little mini-series within a series on using the Steam controller with emulators. I do wish there was more I could say about what PS2 games are best for learning the Steam controller, but many games for that console were content to just use the standard setup of controlling your character with the left stick and controlling the camera with the right. And I suppose you could experiment with ways to control the camera using the right trackpad. That might make a great episode later on down the line, actually. But when it comes to really cool stuff that makes the Steam controller unique, well, most of the games on PS2 don't really offer that experience. But hey, you can play Silent Hill 2 or Burnout 3 on it, so maybe it's not all that bad. You might also experiment with stuff like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 if you want to work on your left trackpad skills a little bit. That's it for emulators, I think. Next week, we're moving back into the world of the legal. I'll see you then.